Welcome to Escape This Podcast, a show that's a mix between tabletop role-playing and escape room puzzles. We are now on Chapter 8 of What Alice Found.
We're getting out.
We're getting out. We left our last guests so frustrated because they were like, oh, we're going to find out who's our friend, who's helping us. We're going to finally get out. And we cut them off right as they started their escape. So this episode should be very exciting. I want to know what happens next. I want to get out and see the world.
This is fun because Bill has done the playtest for this
But I
episode.
still don't know what's going to happen.
But I cut out all of the story, even the stuff that happened inside the room. So he got nothing.
I'm excited to find out what happens. Every episode, we have guests come on and play through an escape room that Danny has created that exists only in her mind and on the iPad in front of her. This episode, we have two new guests. We have coming to the show New Zealand comedians Paul Williams and Guy Montgomery. Welcome.
Thanks. Great to be here.
Yeah, I'd actually like to side with Paul on that one. Yeah, thanks a lot for having us. It is great to be here.
Oh, fantastic. You can tell us a bit about yourselves, but we should probably say just our highlights from your careers.
For people who are in the same circle as us, you will recognize Guy Montgomery as one of the hosts of The Worst Idea of All Time.
Podcast.
Which is a podcast, not just the worst idea. It is a podcast called The Worst Idea of All Time. And Paul Williams is our second Alex Horn that we've had on the show, as he plays the Alex Horn role in New Zealand Taskmaster, which is utterly fantastic.
Thanks so much.
That was a good way to get through lockdown.
True.
Oh, appreciate it. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Season 2 coming soon, so get ready, get excited. Yeah.
Yeah.
I very much am. But yeah, anything else you'd like to tell the people about yourselves? Show off.
Paul, go ahead. Why don't you tell the people a little bit about yourself?
Not a lot to say other than Season 2 of Taskmaster coming soon. My name's Paul from Nelson, New Zealand. Very excited to be here. Very honoured to be here for Episode 8 of this story.
That's great. Just further to what Paul said, I'm Guy. I'm from Christchurch, New Zealand. Obviously, Season 2 of Taskmaster coming out really soon. And really excited to be here. I am a nice guy.
Oh, that's good to know. Yeah. I was going to ask.
And Paul's kind of he's a bit rough and tumble. He can be
I'm the bad boy.
Yeah,
he's a bit of a bad boy.
He didn't add that about himself.
No, but it was sort of, implied. The fact he didn't mention it all would suggest he's a bit of a ruffian.
Yeah.
So, when we have guests on, we always ask two questions. This is a show that is an escape room show. We play escape rooms. So, for either of you, what is your escape room experience?
This is Paul speaking. I've done a lot of escape rooms. Love escape rooms. First one I did was maybe in Auckland. It was like a prison escape room, your classic prison break kind of vibe. And it would have been about 2014, 2015.
Oh my God.
No, okay.
Not in early.
No, maybe not that early. I think you're right. Maybe like 16. I reckon 16.
That's on the early normal side.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to say, was New Zealand ahead of the game?
No.
Was it Hungary and then New Zealand?
I think I'm just very bad at remembering dates is more the issue
Just
here.
like me.
Yeah.
I think for me, as soon as something's more than 2 years old, it all just happened in the past.
Yeah.
And that's all I can remember. And Guy, what about you?
I'm decidedly less experienced. I think I've done one escape room before, and I think Paul was there. Do you remember doing an escape room together?
I mean, I've done a lot of escape rooms. Do you remember the theming or where it was?
It was on Queen Street in Auckland, New Zealand. It was sort of about 6 floors up in a very drab office building. And it was sort of, we were in some sort of office, like we were in like a mayor's office, or we were somewhere, we were in a bureaucratic spot. And it seemed really important at the time that we got out of there.
Yeah.
And what they'd done is they'd sort of strewn clues all across the room. And if you detected them, you could sort of follow a trail of clues until you would escape the room.
That's a good idea.
I'm glad that it worked that way.
Yeah, I think I might have been there.
Yeah.
And worth noting that I've done multiple escapes with stars of episode 4, maybe. Rose Matafeo and Ed Gamble. We've done multiple escapes over in the UK, in Edinburgh and London. So yeah, it's not my first rodeo.
Yeah, now
well,
they profess themselves to be very competitive. Do you fit in with that as well?
I would say, yeah. I would say
Excellent.
I'm insanely competitive.
Yeah, Paul is
Lovely.
Paul is a deeply competitive person. I play social football with him on Saturday mornings, and if you're on his team and you're not pulling your weight, you and everyone else on the field will know about it.
Well, in that case, just to keep the spirit of competitiveness alive, we will be grading each of you separately, and we will declare a winner at the end of the episode.
Wow. Is that real?
You get points. You get points for puzzle solving. You get points for style, and you get points for just kind of like being a cool dude.
Okay.
Whoa.
Well, I'm going to clean
those
up
are
on
harsh
one of
marks
those
to get.
categories.
So the other aspect of this show is it is escape rooms mixed with a sort of tabletop role-playing framing. So do either of you have much tabletop role-playing experience?
I actually do have a little bit. Basically, years ago, I'm not going to try and guess the year again because I've already proven I can't do that. But if I had to guess, I would say
2006.
2015. And
Busy year for Paul.
Yeah.
You're in escape rooms, you're doing tabletop role playing.
Yes, huge year. But basically, a friend messaged me one day and said, "You ever played Dungeons and Dragons?" And I said, "No, but I love board games." And so I was like keen, and he was like, "Come along tonight." And I thought Dungeons and Dragons was like kind of just a standard board game, a Settlers of Catan kind of situation where I'd show up, play for 2 hours, go home. But basically I went along and we were just building our characters and rolling for skills and choosing weapons and stuff. And then I went home like having not played anything, just like design this character.
You got session zeroed.
Yes, and then basically I was trapped and for years, but it was so fun. Ultimately, really had a great time, and I actually want to get back into it because it's been a couple of years now since I left that group. But I really want to get my way back in there. But I feel like it's a hot kind of commodity, a spot in this team.
I've played a little. I've guested. Some friends have a D&D podcast in Australia called Dragon Friends.
We've had them on.
Yeah,
as
they've
well.
been on our show.
I've been
I've
been on their show consistently. Probably as the worst part of it. That's not for want of trying. I just they're all incredibly familiar with the world, and I'm not. And then I played one D&D campaign with some other comics over a Melbourne International Comedy Festival. We'd get 2 or 3 sessions in a week. And that was probably the most versed I became in the experience. So I get it, but I like to surround myself by competence so I can sort of antagonize and frustrate those around me, which I don't know will work in this capacity as Paul and I will be working as a team within one entity.
Let's find out, shall we?
Yeah, I think so.
Wish we could.
I think you could. I think we're good to go. Danny, would you like to get us into the room?
All right, let's get you into this tunnel. The tunnel goes on forever. Your feet have been hurting the entire time, but your friend, whoever they are, is at the end. You're not being recorded. This is where you're supposed to be. It would, just be nice if something happened. Some positive feedback to let you know that you are going in the right direction, but there's been next to nothing. There are sterile lights on the wall every so often, and at one point you saw a smudge that may have been half a footprint, but that was so long ago now you aren't sure. Maybe you imagined it. And already you will the place. Just be finished. Let me out. Hurry up. Give me some sort of... Oh. You turn a corner and you come face to face with a door. It's wooden, and it does not look like it belongs here, nor does it look like it goes back to the outside world. You're underground to some level, and this door doesn't look like the sort of door that leads you back up. But have to get to the end of the tunnel. You wanted something to change, and here it is. So you put your hand on the doorknob and you turn it. You walk through the wooden door into a small, dimly lit space. You're at the top of a short set of stairs. There are just 4 of them. And then there's a narrow cement on all sides room. At the other end is a metal door with a mat on the floor in front of it. The only decorations you can see on the wall are, up the far end, 2 dim lights sticking out from either side of the door. And that is it. And call it a psychic hunch, but you somehow don't think that metal door is just going to swing open for you when you get to it.
I mean, my first thought is look under the mat. Sometimes people put a key under there.
Yeah, or even a clue as to where a key might be.
Yes. Is that a possibility? Could we lift the mat?
Absolutely. You go over, it's an old, grotty sort of mat. You lift it up, and sure enough, there is something under here. It is a slender remote control with a whole heap of buttons on it. You recognize the normal ones, a power button. There's a plus and a minus for raising or lowering the levels of something. And then the rest of the buttons are unlabeled, but each one is a different color. You have a massive rainbow of colors here.
Wow. A remote control.
Must be pretty svelte to have been tucked under that mat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how smart remotes are nowadays.
They're very thin.
Okay.
I'd quite like to press one of the up or down buttons once.
All right. You press it once and you don't really notice much. You think, I don't know, maybe the intensity of the light changes a little bit, but it was such a small degree. Doesn't even really seem worth noting.
Okay.
I'd like to press it up again.
You do, and again, you don't really notice much. Maybe it's already maxed out, but then you press the minuses and it seems like it doesn't change much. It must be already minned out as well. Maybe these lights just aren't really designed to change their intensity too much.
And so the other buttons, there's a bunch of colored buttons, did you say?
Yes.
Is there a yellow button?
There are probably like 4 different yellow buttons, but yeah, you find one.
I want to press
you
the
can
one that's
press
like,
one.
Yeah, it's like a nice warm shade of yellow, like a nice kind of slightly orangey yellow. I'll press that one.
Okay, that's fair. So the lights at the moment, they're a bit of a sad, soft yellow, so you give them a bit more warmth. You press this and yeah, they change to this just slightly more orange one and you feel a little bit better. Nothing happens, but you feel better.
So they're very much controlling the lights, it seems, Guy.
It does seem like the remote is directly tethered to the lights. I wonder if anything would change if we were to turn the lights out.
Yeah, because instinctively I don't want to do that because it'll get kind of scary.
That's right, and it goes against the advice we were given by our dear friend Enrique Iglesias.
What was his advice?
Well, yeah, he encouraged you to not turn out the lights.
Oh, right.
EI.
Oh, right. Yes, okay. Yeah,
I'm glad I remember this song.
Do we hold down the minus button or do we press the power button?
It sounds like the ups and downs are pretty useless. So I reckon, are we brave enough to push it once?
Yeah, let's
push it firmly and with confidence.
You do so. The lights go out.
Do we hear anything?
You start to feel pretty unsettled by that. No, nothing seems to change. So you get bored and quickly turn them back on.
Okay. What about like, you know when there's like those blue UV lights, you turn them and you can see some white like writing.
Yeah.
Could I hit a button that looks like a kind of bluey, purpley UV light color?
Anything that looks bluey or purpley, you're pretty sure is just blue or purple.
Yeah.
But yeah, you pick a nice purple-ish one that seems appropriate. And nothing seems to change. You don't really see any huge glowing messages. But you know what? You go a little bit closer to the lights because you never know. They don't seem that powerful. And you actually do see something on the wall, sort of behind one of the lights. You aren't sure if the color of the light had anything to do with this. It may have just been small letters that were behind it the whole time. It's in something that looks like pink chalk. And it says, "Push on. If our plan works, we'll both be free."
Oh.
And pink writing, you happen to know you've seen that before. Your mystery friend happens to like writing in pink. So it's nice that they're leaving you some words of encouragement.
Did we try open the door?
We haven't touched the door. We've just been mucking around with the remote.
Yeah, maybe should we try and open the door?
Should we set the lights on pink before we do it?
Yeah, a nice calming color.
Yeah, and in solidarity with our friend.
Okay.
That's only fair. All right, you do that. Now, which door? The metal door that leads onwards or the wooden door that you came through?
Push on. We're going to continue moving forward. We'd like to push the metal door, please.
So this metal door at the end of the room, it's locked, and it feels like it might be hermetically sealed. You can't see a normal handle or anything. And you take a look at the lock thing that is on it, and it's a 4x4 grid of square buttons. You squint to see if they have any letters or numbers on them, but there's nothing. However, you do notice under this mild pink light that you've got going, the buttons all appear to be slightly different colors. So you've got a couple that appear a similar sort of pink. Some of them have a more reddish tone to them now. Some of them are almost black.
Okay.
Is there any immediately detectable pattern to the way in which the colours change?
There is not.
What about how our friend said push on? I know we already tried to push the on button. What if we try holding it in? I'm going to push on.
It doesn't seem to work. Oh.
Okay.
In fact, when you hold a power button, that just resets everything if you hold it for long enough. So
Okay.
the lights just go through a basic reset, and you know what? They're back to yellow again now.
I'd like to make them pink again, please.
Okay, that's only fair.
And I would, if possible, I would like to mirror the colours that we see starting in the top left corner of the 4x4 grid. I'd like to push them sequentially going left to right down the rows onto the remote.
Oh, okay. You have a lot more than 4x4 on the remote. So there's an awful lot of buttons that.
But I'm sort of,
don't...
as best I can, I'm matching the colours that I see on the 4x4 lock
I see.
to the colours on the remote.
Yeah, as best you can, you give it a go. Some of them don't quite match up because it very much looks like the buttons on the door, their shades are just being affected by what light is in the room. So they're kind of got that sort of weird mixed sort of thing going on.
Yeah, if the first two buttons are red then blue, you hit red, but then the blue turns to a strange brown color, and it doesn't quite, you can't quite sequence them very well.
Well, I hope you don't mind my language, but a fat lot of good that is.
Whoa.
Should we inspect? I mean, we took something from beneath the mat, but we didn't actually check the underside of the mat.
Yeah, we'll look closer at the mat, please.
Yeah, it's so old that if there were ever any sort of welcome message on either side of it, it must have eroded long ago.
I'd like to make a note of that so that if I ever wind up back here, I could bring them a new mat.
Oh, that's so nice.
We looked close and we saw the chalk on the lights, but let's look close at the other light, maybe.
The other light, it has nothing. There was one good light in here.
Okay.
Maybe we trace back the 4 steps, running our hand along the wall.
So, going back to those steps, there are only 4 of them, so this is pretty easy. As you were coming down the stairs, you didn't notice anything weird about them. But turning around, so standing in the middle of the room and turning around to look at them, you do notice there's something going on with them. On the vertical fronts of each step, there are letters that have been, it looks like industrial spray painted on. You know, like they'd have on the sides of road things. So you've got just some words, or letters at least. These are not words that you recognize, all in capital letters, taking up the space of the stair. So on the top step, you see the letters P-R-E-S-E. The next one is W-U-R-P-L-N.
Werplin.
The third step down is B-H-E-E. B-H-E-E.
And the fourth
Beech.
step?
This one you recognize. It says plus. P-L-U-S.
Oh, okay.
Presser, Werplin. So we're currently looking for patterns, rhythm, or consistency amongst the letters or words dispersed on the steps.
Press purple. I reckon it says press purple. This is my first gut. Press purple.
Something plus. So
Okay, if you take
plus.
that S from the plus though and move it up to the blue, plus blue, press purple. Okay, if you take the S from the bottom, move it up to the top,
Yeah.
and take the E, switch those, and then you
Swap the L and the U with the H and the E. That's how you get to blue, but then you lose plus.
blue. And what does that become?
It would become
B,
Phi.
Fee.
P-H-E-E.
Fee. Nanny McPhee.
Ah.
The hit children's film Nanny McPhee.
We'd like to fondly reminisce on the hit children's film Nanny McPhee.
I haven't seen that.
Well, we'd
You're
like to
both
speculate
too
as to
old.
what might be contained inside of it.
Okay.
We don't know if that film exists in this universe.
Oh,
no.
yeah. They probably
Well-
couldn't get the rights.
Perhaps not unlike the hit film Yesterday, we suddenly realised that we've had an incredible idea for a film that no one else is aware exists.
Press.
All right, well,
are
while
you-
you're doing that, there is still one thing left in the room that could be further observed.
the wooden door. I'd like to look up at the wooden door that we came through.
You look at the back of that door, and there is indeed something drawn on there. Looks like someone put it on in some texture. It's sort of a picture, more like a diagram or a flowchart, though, and you're having that sent to you.
Yes, so for people at home, you can see this flowchart. There's a link in the show notes below. But Paul, would you like to describe to our viewers this flowchart that you can see on the back of the door?
Yeah, so basically it's got the 4 oblongs, which I believe are symbolizing the front of the stairs. And it's saying, like, move. It's got arrows pointing, which I think is symbolizing move the letter to that spot, which is, I think, the route we were going down.
So move the
Yeah.
far right and left letters.
Yes, I believe. So I think we're going, the S goes up to become
That bit makes it
press. The E comes down to become
purple, and the P gets pushed down to be purple. Press purple. The W.
then blue. Press purple, then blue, I think.
Ooh, where does a T come from?
Where did the T come from? And
I've
it
actually
says-
gone and made up a T.
Okay, so it says press purple. We push the W down, and
When.
then the N down. When, and then we push the B down. Press purple. When blue.
I have kind of a speech impediment where T's sound a lot like W's,
Yeah.
the other way around. But yeah,
Press purple. When blue.
you're doing a horrific job of this escape room.
Thanks. I was really torried it would go poorly.
Okay, you've got it as well.
Guy, don't make fun of Paul Williams' speech.
No. I think I'm very empathetic, and so when I'm around someone like Paul, I sort of instinctively emulate.
Okay, so we're gonna try that.
Press purple when blue. So
Oh,
I guess we set the lights to
blue.
blue, and then we press the
Purple
purple
one,
button on the
yes.
4x4.
I like what you're saying, and I agree
All right,
with it.
you pick your favorite shade of blue on the remote. You press it. The lights turn nice, maybe a little less nice than the pink, but you'll have to deal with it. And you look at those buttons, and 3 of those buttons are very distinctly purple under this light. So you smash them all down at once. And you hear the sound of a vacuumy unsealing, and the door inches open. Awesome. You push it open the rest of the way. You're feeling hopeful. But on the other side, there's another long room, even longer, and this one is dark. There are no lights in this room, and the lights from the previous room don't actually stretch very far into it. Maybe the walls here have been painted with Vantablack or something, so it's absorbing more light than usual. It is going to be really hard to see if you take even a few steps in. So before you do that, you try. You just stand here in the doorway and try to see what you can see. You're pretty sure right over at the far end there's another door. The floor you can see is kind of older and bumpier than in the last room. Over on the right wall, maybe 2/3 of the way down, there's a very narrow window. And on the left wall, right opposite it, there's a small device. You cannot tell what it is. What is that? Maybe you'll just have to take a couple of steps forward. But a couple of steps forward is all it takes for something to happen. That device starts beeping. And not a nice beep, it's a very angry warning beep. And you
Beep!
are pretty sure you have just tripped a weirdly human-sounding alarm.
Beep!
I do not care for this beep.
Beep.
Oh, it's sinister. So we're in the darkness. We've triggered an alarm.
There's a window. The bumpy floor is interesting, and I wouldn't mind bending down and just kind of touching that with my hands a bit.
You start as close to the entrance door as you can, and you sweep your hands over the floor until you find some quite deep cracks in this cement. Like, here's one right in front of you. Oh, and there's another one like, immediately above it, hardly any space between them. They feel like two just horizontal lines going left to right, both of them exactly the same length and so smooth and precise that you have a sneaking suspicion this is not just wear and tear. You feel around for another one. You have to go a little further. It's farther away, but it's kind of similar. It's a horizontal line, except from the very left tip, it turns sharply down towards you.
The very left tip turns sharply down towards you.
Down towards you. You keep going and you find a couple more. The next one that you find, it's a bit more complicated. It comes down, then right, up, right, down. Last crack, there's one that goes up, right, down, right, up.
And are these all on the same horizontal plane, or are they dispersed like up and down?
Relatively evenly dispersed, apart from the first horizontal pair of lines.
So there's two lines, then there's the left to down, and then above that you've got down, right, down, and then above that you've got up, right, down, right, up.
Yes.
Yeah.
All good.
Is this I think it's a number. Like, is it 11752? Is kind of what it sounds like that.
Yeah.
Is there a
lot? Is there? If we approach the alarm, do they have braille on the keys of where the alarm is currently sounding?
Ah. All right. Well, luckily for you, this alarm, it's got a teeny tiny flashing red light on it. So while it doesn't give you much else for the rest of the room, it gives you just enough light that you can take a peek at its interface. It wants a number to be input to disable the alarm. And, on its faint digital screen, you see the words, 3 attempts remaining.
Oh, man. Okay. What do you reckon about that? 11752.
We've got 3 attempts. I mean, we know it's going to be wrong, but we'll also feel like fools if we don't try it.
I think we go for it. I'm going to try, because we're the same character, and because I don't want to take all the blame, we're going to put in 11752.
You put in those numbers, and then you press whatever the enter button is on this alarm, and it keeps beeping, and the message now says 2 attempts remaining.
Oh, boy.
I told you not to do that.
Can I just quickly feel the cracks one more time?
Yep. Everything that you did was perfect.
Oh, okay.
You did not make any crack mistakes.
I think we just enjoyed the tactile feel of the cracks so much. We just want to spend a bit more time just enjoying
that's totally fine.
The coarse, perfectly carved concrete cracks.
I guess it could be 52L11. What if it's a 4-code number? And because how many codes are 5 numbers? Usually it's 4, is it not?
Yeah.
So what if
you only found 4, right?
What if the 2 is a Roman 2? So it's 2752.
It's a good thought, but with 2 attempts remaining, I'm not sure I want to risk it. Can we?
You might be able to find something that gives you a better idea.
Yeah.
Perhaps near the window, the conveniently mentioned window.
You stumble over to that little window. It's quite high, so you have to stand on your toes a little bit to look out. But then you immediately draw back. There is a person on the other side.
Oh, wow. Chills. Genuine chills.
Granted, though, they were not looking at you. So after a moment, they don't seem to peek back, and you're pretty sure they wouldn't be able to see you anyway. So you go back up there, you take another look. It's pretty dark on that person's side as well. The only reason you could see them was because there's a little portable lamp sitting on the floor near their feet, casting a glow over a small area. That person, they're sitting down, and by the looks of it, they have fallen asleep in their chair. They are wearing a security guard uniform, and just faintly, you're just at the right angle that you can see an ID lanyard of some sort hanging from his belt. And you're going to be sent that.
Yes, again, for people at home, this link is in the show notes. You can have a look at this ID badge yourself. But Guy, would you like to have a crack at describing this for our listeners at home?
In excruciating detail.
In excruciating detail.
All right. Well, it appears that the uniform is some sort of purplish hue, and then there is a brown, presumably leather belt off of which their security tag is hanging by a piece of elastic string, I'm going to guess. There's a metal clip. And on the security card, it reads simply capital L capital S security. And then beneath that, in all caps, name. And the name of the security guard, we believe, is Mark with a C, M-A-R-C, Wasserman or Wasserman, Wasserman. Beneath
With
that...
thanks to Patreon donor Mark Wasserman.
Huge shout out to Mark Wasserman. And then beneath that, we have, in all caps, it says access code. And then beneath that, there are 5 dashes, like hangman style dashes. So 5 probably denoting 5 letters. Beneath that, 3 dashes. Beneath that, another 5. And beneath that, 4 dashes. So it goes 5, 3... Oh no, 5, 3, 6. My apologies. 5, 3, 6, 4. And then on the bottom right-hand corner, there is a very rudimentary sketch, which I am assuming is of the security guard, Mark Wasserman himself. Or perhaps just a doodle before falling asleep. What is Mark Wasserman hiding is the question I'm wondering. This is a pretty sinister character. So the access code very well could be 5364. But, I mean, how is that connected to the other number we have?
Yeah. I mean, with 2 attempts left, I feel like we can't risk it. That first one I was feeling pretty good about, but,
2 is a lot less than 3.
Yeah.
By 1. But, circumstantially, it does feel like a bigger shrinking in opportunity than 1.
So we're seeing his thing from his card from the light cast from a small lamp. Is that correct?
Correct.
Is there anything else we can see in this room?
No, that seems to be all that's relevant.
All right.
Back in the room we're in. We haven't really looked at the end door yet, have we?
We've not checked it out at all.
It's quite dark though.
Yeah, but we could feel around with our hands.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you have to do.
Softly feel the entirety of the door that is accessible from our height.
Yep, gotcha. You fumble around, you touch what you can touch, and eventually your hand finds a door handle, but when you twist it, nothing happens. Bit more fumbling around, and you find a cable. It seems to be connecting the door to the alarm, so it looks like the alarm needs disabling before the door will open.
And there's nothing else on the door, obviously.
Not that you can tell in the dark.
Looking back at the door we've come through, can we see anything there? Or
no,
back towards
sadly.
where the light was?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
No good to us.
No good to us.
All good. You dealt with that door. You've already accomplished all it has to offer.
Huge.
I mean...
We now have all the information we're going to get.
Yeah, and I'm scared.
Yep.
With two attempts is really scary. 5374.
5364.
Yeah, 64. But
So you got that other thing where you see 6s as 7s.
yes.
Actually, where the popular idiom "I'm all 6s and 7s" comes from.
Yeah.
Port William's perpetual misunderstanding of numbers. 11752. What if we reverse that 25711?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that access code. With the access code, we're seeing those dashes, and it's not that we can't make out the numbers. Is that correct?
No, they are actually dashes.
Describing them as hangman-like was very appropriate.
Yes. Okay. Access code dashes.
And as you feel those numbers on the floor, I think your first assessment that it was an 11 rather than 2 1s is probably most accurate based on how they're spaced out as you feel them.
Okay. That really changes things, right? 11. How does that change things?
Well, 11752. Do you think, is it too gun-ho to just punch in what it says on Mike Wasserman's security badge? It's too obvious, isn't it?
Well, that is an option. Yeah, so you're thinking we should try the 5364 dash code?
I mean, yeah, I'm wondering if the other numbers will be valuable after we've entered that. Or do you think all clues must tally to allow us out of this
Okay,
room.
hear me out. I think I've got it. Maybe. Wait. No, maybe not. I think
Say
that
it out
was...
loud.
No,
No,
go for it.
please.
I was going to say,
Believe in
like,
yourself.
11 has 6 letters. 2
It
has
does.
3 letters.
Mhm.
5 has 4
4
letters. 7 has 5 letters.
It does.
So I'm thinking we're going 7, 2, 11, 5. What are you thinking? I think surely.
Yeah.
That's why hangman was such a good analogy, because we're not looking for numbers there. We're looking for letters.
I think I'm glad to be a part of the same person as you.
Okay, let's try it.
You push in 72115, and the alarm falls silent.
We got
You
there.
did it. Good job.
We got
The
there.
attempt message disappears from the screen, and instead all that shows up is disabled. Press 1 to rearm. Yeah, no. No, thank you.
We
So instead-
hover our finger over the 1 button. And then we
Like the
remove it
super
again.
fun happy slide.
Oh, you have me worried.
All right. You turn your attention to the door. That door has now cracked open. So fantastic. You push it open and step through, and sadly, it is still ridiculously dark in the next room. Man, tunnels! This is the worst. That said, this one feels different. It's a little bit drafty, it's more open, and your footsteps, you almost feel like they're echoing, and from somewhere in front of you, you hear an ominous sound. Creak, creak, creak. Ugh. Instinct tells you to walk kind of slowly, and that is a good instinct, because after a while, you move your left foot forward one more step, and it does not hit floor, it hits air. You draw back, you crouch down, you use your hands to feel around what's going on, and you find a pit, a hole that reaches the entire width of the room, stretching you don't know how far across. And surely you can't be expected to jump, and you keep feeling around, and oh, there's something. There's a wooden board, like a single floorboard. It's nailed to the edge, and it goes across the gap for you to walk on. But then you fumble around a bit more, and some distance to the right of that one, you find a second one, and then a third, and a fourth. So there are 4 separate boards, and one very ominous pit. Hey everyone, we just want to take 1 minute of your time for a quick ad break.
Now, nobody likes ominous pits. But you know what people do like? Crossword puzzles.
Oh yeah, especially us. Now, the one thing about crosswords is, once you get the idea of it, the formula of it, you know how to do a crossword.
Yeah, they're up, they're down.
But have you heard of a variety crossword?
Oh, do you mean like the variety crosswords designed by Eric Berlin for puzzle snacks?
That's right, I do mean New York Times published Eric Berlin.
So Puzzle Snacks is a subscription puzzle service. It's only $3 a month, and you get weekly puzzles delivered to your inbox.
The level is great for everybody, for an individual, for people to work together. It's a great activity for your kids as well. And I know summer holidays are coming up for some of you.
So check out puzzlesnacks.com. There is a link below, and you can even go and try a free puzzle on their website. You will immediately get hooked, and then go sign up and enjoy your crosswords.
Back to the hole?
Back to the hole.
And did we hear quite a bit of creaking? It's not what you want to hear.
No, I find creaks to be ominous at the best of times, but let alone in this dark and sinister tunnel.
With a pit.
Yeah, it's probably one of the last things we wanted to hear.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a large pit with 4 wooden planks.
Could you, unless it's not worthwhile, could you just please re-describe for me everything that we noticed before we got to the pit and the planks?
So you noticed it felt a little bit drafty, and there was definitely a little bit more of an echo than usual, and that creak, creak, creak sound.
Which was coming from what
And-
direction? In front of us.
It was definitely coming in front of you. Now that you are right up and close to the pit, you've got a little bit more detail about what's going on there. It definitely sounds like those creaks are coming from somewhere in the middle, like maybe the very middles of those floorboards. And you get a horrible feeling that maybe these guys are on the verge of rotting, and if you pick the wrong one and walk too far across it, like to the very middle of it, it might snap under you.
Okay.
And meanwhile, that sort of draftiness, you can feel a slight breeze coming from the left wall, sort of low down, like maybe sort of from the left side of the pit. You aren't really sure where it's coming from or what's causing it, but it's like flowing from the left through the pit towards the right.
Okay. Some wind coming through.
It's quite nice.
Hmm.
Maybe we just take a moment to enjoy the gentle breeze brushing across our face.
Hmm.
As the breeze picks up again and brushes across your face, you once again hear creak, creak,
Oh man.
creak.
Should we pull the bits of wood back towards us so we can kind of like assess their structural integrity?
Maybe admire with our hands how exactly they're fixed to the floor as well.
Oh, they're fixed to the floor?
Well, we don't know.
They're nailed into the floor,
Oh,
but
right.
you have a bit of a feel around them, and yeah, you know that obviously at the very least your mystery friend must have been here recently. Maybe that security guard walked along this recently, so at least one of them has to be good. But it's very hard to feel from where you are. They all feel just that tiny bit moist. Like any one of them could be a risk.
Do we have anything we can like send out as like a tester, you know? There's nothing heavy in the last room or anything.
Nothing human weight for sure.
The wind is blowing from our left to right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean...
What can we gain from that wind?
Is it warm or is it chilly?
A little cool, like a sea breeze.
Hmm.
And once again, as it blows from left to right, you hear creak, creak, creak.
So it seems like a sea breeze. My car, I park out right by the beach, and the salty wind water blows up and really does a number on the
paint job.
The paint job, which makes me think this salty wind would probably not be great for these planks of wood.
There's a very persistent creaking as well. Not a huge amount of other supplementary information available in this room. Could we say the words creak, creak, creak?
Well, you could say creak, 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 but you quickly get out of time with the breeze because it goes creak, creak, creak.
What do you reckon? I'm just scared we're going to plummet to our deaths.
Yeah.
That's the fear.
Yeah, one of the big things you don't want to happen is to plummet to your death.
Yeah. It would be a real bummer if we
plummeted.
Yeah, just plummeted. This creaking is
persistent, and it's actually driving me nuts.
Yes. Well, I mean, we said we didn't like it as soon as we got in the room, and it does not stop.
It goes on undeterred.
It does. In fact, right now you hear it go past, you hear two big breezes, one after the other, and you hear it go creak, 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 creak.
So it repeated.
So it goes creak, creak,
creak,
creak, and then a second breeze.
Oh.
Creak, creak.
Same.
Yes.
Creak.
Okay, so the wind's coming across. The first one's
From left
creaking.
to right.
Creak, creak, creak.
So it's the third. It's the third one because the first two creak and then there's a pause and then the fourth one creaks.
Would like to lock that in, I think.
The third board.
All right. You put all your weight on this board. Makes you a little nervous because at the start it feels just as precarious as any of the others. But as you shuffle towards the middle, that breeze keeps blowing and you can distinctly hear it's the other boards around you that are creaking and not this one. You've got the strong silent type. So you resist the urge to leap across quickly. You take it slow and steady, and at last you make it to solid ground again. Whew. All right. You slowly start walking again. You turn a corner to your right, and oh god, oh no, there's another pit, and you aren't sure, but you just can tell this one is bigger, it's longer. And there's still a mysterious breeze here coming from your left. Only this time the floorboards are making a lot more noise. And you can tell, you feel around, there are 5 boards this time. They feel about the same as the last ones, but there are definitely 5 of them that you can feel. And yeah, they're being quite noisy. Creak, 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 creak.
Okay, so soft, loud, break, loud, soft, loud.
Creak, 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 creak.
Sound like there's a bit of a pause here between the in the last four. After it goes loud, quiet, beat, quiet, loud.
I was taking it that it went small, big, break, big, small.
And then break again, small, big.
So there's 5 things, but we're hearing 8 sounds. But is
it all through one breeze? Is that one breeze coming through?
As one breeze
This
passes
is one
along from
big old breeze
All
through
right.
this extra long pit.
small,
extra
big?
long bit.
Is each one making 2 noises, or is it
Dun,
so
dun, dun, dun.
big, small, big?
You'd
I
think
feel
that
like so-
audio puzzles in the audio medium would be the easy one,
No, they're the
but
toughest.
So the one difference is that one of them is going big, small, right?
Yeah, which is either plank 3 or 4.
What would that mean? My brain hurts from this one.
Oh, maybe small, big. So 1 and 2 are out, should we say?
Yeah.
And then on block 3, it's missing the small creek, so it just goes big. And then on block 4, it's just got a small creek.
Oh,
so there's
yeah.
no big creek. And then on block 5, it's small, big. So block 4, there's a creek, but it's
But
only
it's
small.
small.
It's the only one missing
Yes.
a larger
I
creek.
like that. Can we hear the creaks one more time?
Creak, 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 creak.
I think that's
I believe you have it
that's
correct.
definitely it, right?
So whichever block we just surmised, which I believe was block 4.
you step on that one, the second board from the right, and just like with the first pit, you feel sturdy enough. So inch by inch, you scuttle forward until you sort of feel like you're getting towards the middle. But then you feel something you didn't expect. The end of this pipe isn't hitting solid ground. It's hitting like a pipe, like an interim islandy sort of thing. And then you feel another section of board in front of you, and you go, oh, that explains the double creaking. These are 2 boards across a doubly long gap.
Oh,
So you've reached the end of your first board, and then you pause and go, oh, hold on. Is it definitely safe to keep going forward along this second from the right one?
okay. That's one. We'll go. The first plank is 1, and then the second one is 1.1, and then 2, and then 2.2. So we've gone along 4, but now we're at a crossroads where we are choosing whether to go 4.1 or to continue or to change.
So we could change to like 4.1 or 4.2.
I think. Wait. So that's 1.1 small, then 1.2. Yeah, we'll go 1.1 and 1.2. 1.2 is big, then 2.1 is small, then 2.2 is big, then... Oh, no. It doesn't make sense.
Where
so
you are
that's-
in the middle now, if you heard the breeze again from the center, there would be no small or big creeks. All the creeks would be just as creaky from the center.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Back where you were on the other side, there were small and big creeks.
Okay. Oh, no, wait, because the small creek is presumably further away.
So then
So
maybe,
should we switch? We should go 4 and then switch to 3?
The 3's missing the
The further
smaller
away
creek.
one.
All right, so you go back up the 4th one, and look, jumping from one floorboard to another seems like the worst thing you could possibly do with rotten wooden boards, but, you know, what choice do you have? So you stretch out your left leg as far as it will go, and you find your footing on the next floorboard, and it holds. So you balance for dear life, and you manage to get all the way across to the other end of this really long pit. Okay, you get walking again. You turn once more to the right. If there is another pit, you swear you... Ooh, wait, hold on. Way down the end, you think you see a light, a dim one, man-made, coming from a lamp on the floor. You recognize that lamp. Ooh, it looks like right up the far end there's a T-junction with a left and a right turn available to you. But before you can get to that, with the light you can actually see there is one more pit. And it looks like a nightmare. You're glad you couldn't see the last ones. Immediately in front of you, there are 15 wooden boards stretching over the largest hole yet, and there's another 15 beyond them, some of which crisscross over each other. The creaking is ridiculous. Creak, 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 creak. Your head is spinning, and the breeze coming from your left is not as gentle this time. It's actually strong enough that you stumble and you almost fall into the pit, and the rope whips around and nearly hits you in the face.
The rope.
Oh. Yeah. Oh. Wow, you were so focused on the chaos of those boards, you didn't even notice there's a rope suspended in the ceiling.
If we give that a bit of a tug, how does that feel?
It feels absolutely sturdy. You can half swing, half walk across the gap. No difficulty whatsoever.
Okay, let's do that, I think.
Great. You do it. There is absolutely no problem. You only had to do 2 board challenges. All right, great. So you get to the end of that T-junction. So you take a quick look.
Trickers.
Yeah.
You tiptoe over to the end of that T-junction. To the left, there's a short corridor, and there's a giant wheel-looking round door. And you look to your right, and it's an immediate dead end, and there is guard Mark sleeping in his chair.
Man, this guy, he's really tired.
He must be knackered.
Yeah.
So we can either F around with our guard who's at a dead end, or attempt to navigate this wheel door to our left.
I say we look closer at this wheel door.
So this door, it's huge, it's round, sort of like the door to a bank vault, but it's got spokes all around the outside, a bit like a ship captain's wheel. You mess around a tiny bit with these spokes just quietly, and you see from the mechanisms, they're currently in sort of a neutral setting, but they can either be pushed in or pulled out. And both on the spokes and in the center of the wheel, there is quite a bit of writing. And the glow of Guard Wasserman's lamp carries just far enough that you can read everything from here.
Yes, so people at home, you can see this lovely door image, but I believe, Paul, it's your turn. Would you like to describe what this door looks like?
Okay, yeah, so there's a big wheel, very much like a captain's steering wheel on a ship, and it has numbers kind of scattered around it, not in the usual order. There's 1, 11, 2, 4, 8, 12, 6, 3, 9, 10, 7, 5. So basically it's 1 to 12, I think.
Except the numbers are all scattered higgledy.
Yes. And then, written in pink chalk, it says, answers hidden inside, with 2 exclamation marks.
From our friend.
I assume that's the pink chalk from our friend.
And so, did you say that the numbers that are sort of like the spokes on the wheel, they're all on a neutral setting, but you can push them in?
You can push them or pull them.
Okay, so they've got 2 ways they could go.
I think Mark might have something for us.
We've got to go and check it out. He's got a lamp. He's fast.
Yeah.
I mean, he's slept through so much so far.
Yeah.
We can be pretty confident that he's going to remain unconscious. But we would very quietly like to go and inspect Mark, his security tag, the immediate surroundings, just that whole situation, really.
No problem. All right, so you've got the lamp, looks battery operated, sitting by his feet. It's bright enough to light up a small circle around whoever's got it. Mark himself, he hasn't moved. He's definitely still dozing, but you don't think it would actually take that much to wake him, and you're a little surprised that all that creaking didn't do it already. In fact, are his eyes twitching already? May have to be quiet, but even if you're completely silent, he might wake up on his own anyway, and you might need to make a plan for that, because he, honestly, there's no bones about it, he looks like he is a lot stronger and faster than you.
Ooh,
damn.
I mean, do we bop him on the head? Is that an option? Also, he might be nice. He might just tell us the code.
Yeah, I mean,
based on your experience of the last couple of days, you're having some significant trust issues.
We can't trust
But
anyone.
you also don't know how confident you are about your head bopping ability.
Yeah,
okay. Something more creative than a bop and less naive than befriending Mark.
Okay.
Yes, Guy, I know that you are a nice guy, but
Yeah.
Mark Wasserman is not.
Wow, Paul's a bad boy.
He's got a second badge you see on his chest that says certified bad boy.
Yeah.
So he won't be friendly
that
at all.
does mean that Paul's probably liable to get along with him pretty well.
Yeah.
Paul's got that same badge.
But if only Paul Williams was in the room instead. It's
I
this
know.
mysterious character. The perils of role-playing.
All right, so there's nothing about him to suggest that there's a clue.
Answers hidden
No.
inside.
Maybe
Do you think that's...
we walk
is that a
back to the
clue?
wheel and we attempt to remove the central console where it says answers hidden inside. Inside of the numbers, we attempt to remove that plate.
So that doesn't move out in any way.
You found
But yeah, the more you try to mess with it, you actually feel like this thing is kind of creaky. If you try to mess with it too much, Mark is gonna wake.
Okay. Man, a lot of creakiness. What about the lamp?
The lamp it's pretty much what it looks like. Very,
Okay.
very mobile, battery operated, doesn't
Battery
cast too much
operated.
light, but enough.
Okay. And if we open the battery thing, there's just normal batteries in there.
Yeah, nothing fancy. That's just
Okay.
to tell you it's not plugged in.
I was just making sure there were no answers hidden inside.
But we could
No, that's fair.
perhaps carry the lamp around some of the darker areas towards the wheel even. You got to have that lamp, you know. I mean, if not for now, it just seems like it's a really high quality piece of kit.
Also, if we're controlling the light source, if Mark does wake up,
We can remove that and create total darkness.
Yeah.
Maybe is it too risky to take the lamp back from whence we came?
Nah, you can manage. In fact, with the light, may even be easier.
What if we try again our initial thought? Remember when we tried to make the room dark in the first room? Should we try that again and just switch the lamp off for a second? That's not going to wake him up. That's going to make him even sleepier. I think.
All right, you take a look. It does have an off button. You aren't sure how loud this sort of off button is. Sometimes once I don't know, you press it in and it might make a really loud clacky noise. So just to be safe, you sort of back away a little bit closer to the floorboards area and you press it off there. And okay, great. Not too loud at all, but better safe than sorry. It's funny though, right before you switched it off, you thought you saw something, like a shadow on the wall or the floor. I don't know, maybe you just imagined it.
No, we definitely didn't. I think we're going to take the lamp to exactly where we thought we just saw something.
All right, you turn that lamp back on. It was actually quite nice. In the dark, you felt invisible. You felt a little bit powerful. But you turn it back on for the moment and you take a look at where you thought you saw something, and sure enough, there's something there. Couldn't see it while stumbling in the dark, but now it is easy. There is a message on the lower part of the wall here written in pink chalk. So this is out of the 3 rooms, this is in room 3. This one says, "Pull yourself together. You've been put upon in every way, but you can do it." It's nice to hear positive messages, even if they're worded a little bit strangely. Okay. And hang on. There's something on the floor here as well. There's a piece of fancy pamphlet paper. It's a bit grotty with sewer dirt, but you pick it up and look at it. And it says, "Don't miss the wedding episode." Great, this again. Only
A flyer.
it's not quite the same as the one that you found last night in the electronics store, because this one doesn't have yours and Blake's pictures all over it. In fact, there are no pictures at all on this. You know what? Whatever. You don't want to think about this. You're actually quite sure this bears no relevance to your current situation, and it might be something to worry about later.
I didn't get that. I'm excited.
So what that
Okay.
means is it's plot, it is not puzzle.
Okay, yeah, right. Pull yourself together.
Pull yourself together. We can pull the numbers towards us.
Oh, yeah, okay. Pull, yeah, nice. Very good thought. been-
And do you remember what
Push.
your first message said?
It
Push
said
on, push on.
Push on.
Oh, wow, okay. Push, pull,
Pull yourself
push
together.
on,
And put upon in every
push
way,
on, up on,
but
on, in,
you can do it. So-
every. What was the initial thing? Push,
It just said push on.
is that all it said?
Push on. If our plan works, we'll both be free.
Works.
And you know what? Actually, you yourselves, your character, you've forgotten exactly what it said. So you go back to the very first room to find out what that says. And as you go through, you pass back through the dark alarm room And you see it still sitting there saying, hey, press 1 to rearm me, please, I'm an alarm. But you also notice in the back of the door in that room, there is something written on there, but that was the door that you sort of smudged your hands all over, so with your lamp you can see something, but it's not 100% perfect.
And again, that is a image linked for people who are following along at home. But Guy, would you like to describe this image that you're seeing of this pink message?
So this one's in the alarm room.
It says, in occasionally smudged writing, sorry, I've accidentally zoomed in.
He's zoomed in. He's having an absolute mare.
You know what? Even with a lamp, you're still in a dark room. It's hard to read sometimes.
You've got to zoom in.
It reads as follows in pink chalk: IKN smudge. I'm assuming no. So it says IKN smudge. I know how you FE smudge L, presumably for feel, even with a smudge over the second E, if I'm with a smudge over the capital I, not with a smudge over the end, N, there with a smudge over the first E, I know with a smudge over the N, you'll with a smudge over the U, pull through. I know how you feel, even if I'm not there, I know you'll pull through. And the smudges are on an O and a W, an E, an I, an N, an E, a K, an N, and a U.
Yeah, but again, you're pretty sure you caused those smudges.
I see.
The fact it says like push, pull, and stuff, like it basically says that word once in each room, right? So what if so the first one was push on, room 1, push 1 maybe. Then the second room it says pull,
push, pull,
and then the next room was that the planks.
That was the first plank challenge.
Pull yourself together. Oh, but yeah, I mean that only gives us push, pull.
Yeah,
could it just be 1, 2, and 3? Like push 1.
There must be numbers somewhere. But the only other instruction that your friend gave you was answers hidden inside.
Inside the messages. Yeah, and so okay. So push on. If our plan works, we'll be free.
We'll both be free.
We need to know the numbers. Is it just how many words? We'll both be 3. We'll both be 3. We'll both push on. On is almost 1. If our plan works. Okay, hidden inside. 4. If our plan. If our could be 4.
Oh, yeah, nice.
What are some of the other ones? Pull yourself together. Okay, I think that's just to give us the pull bit.
Mm-hmm.
You've been put upon. Is there a number there? You've been put upon in 9. Upon in every 9.
Nice.
Okay.
And then we've got this one here, which is I know how you feel. Even if I'm not there, I know you'll pull through.
Okay.
So
I know how you feel. 11.
Yeah.
11.
11.
Nice.
Feel even.
So no,
Push
the bottom
4.
one's 9. Yep, pull 11.
Pull 11.
Pull 9.
Pull 9. Well, let's try that.
So we'd like to push 4, pull 11, and pull 9, please.
All right, so you push in 4, you pull 11, you try to pull 9. Pulling 9, it feels, you can just tell, it is going to make an ungodly screech. It is going to wake that guard. You need some way to get him away from here.
As we put our hand on 9, we would like to turn out the lamp.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You could. He might hear the wheel screech and still sort of know his directions well enough to get to you.
So the issue is
anything else you could distract him.
What have we got?
Um,
What about that alarm? That alarm that we were expressly told we could reactivate.
Oh yeah.
If we go back, turn on the alarm,
Mm-hmm.
he'll probably...
The alarm starts its angry beeping again, And with the door open now, that sound carries. It carries bad. And you head back over. You keep the lamp off so you cannot be seen by any stretch of the imagination. And you hear guard Mark going, and then he gets up, he swings across the rope, he makes his way back over to the pits, and he has gone to check out that alarm.
Now we finish our code by pulling 9.
All of those locks click, the whole door spins and opens up, and you hear the sound of water. You see light, natural light streaming in. You shield your eyes, you give them time to get used to it, and then you step through. Oh my god, you are so close. You are not outside, not quite. You're standing in some kind of large sewer pipe. You're on the cement bank of a rushing stream of water that's coming out of some underwater hole in one wall. It's flowing down in a straight line towards a grate some distance away. And through that grate, you can see open sunshine pouring in. So close. And then you hear someone say your name. Across from you, over on the bank on the other side of the water, you see an elderly woman. She's dressed to move, her eyes look sharp, she's got white hair, she's clutching her leg, she's not moving, and you recognize her face.
Ooh. Who's this old woman?
It's coming back to you. You haven't seen her so much, but you're getting memories of the police station.
Oh no! Hold on.
The most wanted posters.
Is this the one? Okay, so in the police station episode, we were like solving a crime to track down the person who's the most wanted. And I thought, this is weird. Why would they be doing a real crime? But maybe they were actually tracking down someone who had gone against like the showrunners. Is this Leilani K?
It's definitely the picture of Leilani K
Oh,
that
that's
you
so
found in the police
cool.
station.
Oh, as I know you two, as not being as fully up to date as I am, this is not as exciting. But for me, this is so exciting.
No, this does feel... I'm catching a bit of the periphery excitement. I am excited.
Yeah. My initial thought was Nanny McPhee.
Does she have her dog?
But this is more exciting than that.
So you say, Leilani K, the smuggler? And the old woman rolls her
The
eyes.
laundry detergent smuggler.
Yeah, it sounded stupid, didn't it?
It sounded very stupid that she was a laundry detergent smuggler.
Yeah, so she rolls her eyes and says, oh, that's what they came up with, isn't it? Well, I mean, I suppose I'm certainly a criminal, and I guess I've been smuggling you things, so sure, I'll take it. Now, you weren't followed? Nope, okay. You nod,
so cool.
you make a move into the water to swim towards her, and she goes, no. Don't come over here. That water is faster than it looks. I tried. I got thrown up against that grate so badly, I cannot move my ankle. I can't push through injuries as well as I used to. It took all my energy just getting here. I don't even think I can move from this spot. Don't make the same mistake. What we need is that. And she points in the direction from which the water is flowing, and chained up on the wall right above the water, so suspended above it, there is a small boat. And on the ground on your side, there is a single oar. And Leilani says, well, of course, we'll have to find a way to open that grate as well, but you've had a good deal of experience breaking out of places by now, and as soon as we're out, we can talk. You are in the last legs of this room.
You gotta get that boat.
Okay.
The boat is chained to the roof or the wall.
Yeah, it's definitely within reach. So tell you a bit about this chained up boat. It's like it's just an unpowered dinghy. It's resting up against the wall. Its hull is facing outwards, so it's sort of vertical. And keeping it suspended like that, there are two heavy chains that cross over each other in an X shape. The chains, little bit unusual. The boat, as far as you can tell, is pretty normal. So these chains, they're attached to the walls. There's a combination lock for each of those chains on your side, so you can mess with the locks. One of them is digits, one of them is letters. And each of the chains themselves looks a little unusual. It looks like the links have stuff written on them. So you can easily take a look at them.
I would love to look at those chains.
All right, would you like the digit lock or the letter lock chain?
I mean, I'm more of a letter guy than a digit guy, I think. So should we start
Cool.
with letters?
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right, so the one with the letter lock attached to it, the X part, it starts high on your end and then goes diagonally down the boat and attaches to the wall low on Leilani's side. So you examine the chain links closest to you. You start from the topmost one, which is where the lock itself is. And you see there's something written in small letters on the wall right behind the lock, and it just says the word letters. Okay, that's not very helpful. But as for the chain links themselves with what they have written on them, each one has a 3-letter word. So like the top one, it has Amy, just the name Amy, A-M-Y.
Okay.
Then the second link has the word box written on it.
All right.
The third one has cow. And the fourth one has dev, like short for developer. After that, though, the chain sort of curves around the hull of the boat. And so from your angle, you can't read anymore.
And the lock, where is it on that chain again?
It's right on your side, right at the end on your side. So you can get, if you can figure out the combination, you can get that chain completely off.
And Leilani, she can't move and come in and look at the chain on her side?
Well, she's a little bit far off, but you know what? You might as well ask her. Give it an ask. And she grumbles a little bit. Says, well, read that from here. I mean, I can try, but I can't see that much. Like, all right, I can see like the one sort of in the middle of the boat, so closest to your side. It doesn't have anything written on it. I don't know what you want. It's a chain. Why would it have... Oh, wait, hold on. The one right underneath that, it says fit, F-I-T. And the one under that says gas. And then the last one says her, H-E-R. Does that sound right?
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Thanks, Leilani. It's incredible what you can do if you just believe in yourself.
Whatever.
So we've got alphabetical order, 3-letter words. We don't know what the E one is.
What's the 3-letter word beginning with the E? Ear?
Ear.
Eat?
Eel.
T. If we're going on the right hand side, they're in reverse alphabetical order, so it's R-S-T. So it ends in a U.
Yes,
so it's
wow.
an E word ending in a U. Starts
Emu.
in
There
an
are significantly fewer of those.
Emu, surely.
E. Yeah.
You plug in emu, and the lock clicks open.
Wow. Great spotting with the reverse alphabetical order. That was crazy.
Fantastic. So now we need to do numbers.
You look at that, the digital lock now, the digit lock. And so it starts low and then goes up diagonally across high. And so the lowest link, the one closest to you, it has 031 on it. And the next one up says 313.
Yeah.
Then 130.
I hate numbers.
I really hate numbers as well.
Then 313 again. And after that, it starts to curve around and you can't see.
From bottom going up, 031, 313, 130, 313, and then we can't see.
Hey,
that's right.
Hey, Leilani. I know it annoyed you last time, but I would very much appreciate it if you could try and read the numbers on the chain.
Numbers? That's so much harder.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Whatever. I can see a couple. Okay. All right. So the middle one on my side, right above yours, I guess, says 130. Are they all supposed to say that? Because the one above that does not. The one above that says 303. The next one, I'm sorry, I got nothing. I don't know. Sorry. But above that, the top one, I think it says 312. That's fine. Oh, actually, there's something written on the wall behind it as well. That's minuscule, though. There's no way I can get it. Should I try anyway, or...?
Yes, please. Try anyway.
All right. Look, I'm pretty sure it says monks.
Like
monks?
Religious people, like spiritual or religious people.
I mean, that's what I'm seeing, but it's probably wrong. Like, don't trust my eyes.
Well, okay, I'm not going to totally trust them, but, your help is appreciated. We're in this together, Leilani. I know that you're begrudgingly helping, but it's incredibly valuable.
It's not begrudging. I'm just in a lot of pain.
Oh, I see. I guess because of your cool demeanor, it's hard to tell exactly how much pain you're in. So it goes 3-1 from top down. Can we just read it back to you to make sure we got it?
Mm-hmm.
312, unknown, 303, 130, 313, 130, 313, 031.
The monks is weird. I say let's ignore the monks for now.
Okay.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think we can figure.
I mean, don't ignore it, but take it with a slight grain of salt. Yeah, the problem is, in the letters one, it gave you the word letters because letters were what you needed to focus on to solve it. But this one, I mean, you can't quite take Leilani's word for it, but it makes it sound like you need to focus on monks to solve this one.
Monks. It's not
Which
gonna
doesn't
be
sound
monks,
quite
is it?
right.
It's gonna
Yeah,
be-
I think she's misreading that. Monks.
Like, probably not.
Monkey.
She's probably not misreading it much because she's done pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, monkey.
Something not quite right.
No, monkey's got
Manx, minx,
the movie
monks,
Mank.
monks, minx.
Um,
What are other mistakable letters there? T's, your H's.
mon.
Mm.
Oh, it's not like 'cause-
Months.
Oh, is
March,
this to do
January,
with how many
February.
days there are in each month?
31, 28, 30. So 31 in January, 28 in February, 30 in March. 30 days have September, April, June, and November. 31 in March. So is it 831? I think it might be
You try 831. The number lock opens. You have both of those locks open. With both locks open, you pull the chains off the boat and it falls into the water. It drops down. It splashes water in your face and then it starts moving. Thinking quickly, you just have to leap in before it gets away from you. So you're in a dinghy rushing towards the water. You're rapidly approaching where Leilani's floundering on the side. She stretches out her arm and you manage to grab on and using the oar that you cleverly stashed with you for leverage, you pull her into the boat with you. She's clearly in a lot of pain, but you don't have time to offer first aid because you are speeding towards the grate. And you do not know how much structural integrity this boat has. If you smash into it at this speed, you could be in some trouble.
Uh-oh.
We dig the oar into the water.
It's a long shot, but that oar seems sturdier even than the boat. So you hold it sort of in front of you, slight angle, dig it in, you close your eyes, and the clang of oar on grate echoes through the air. The recoil really shoots a bit of fire into your wrist, but it works. The boat is shoved off to the side. It rests slightly on the bank. You breathe heavily. Okay, hold on. You've got to figure out a way to open this grate, and then you can shove the boat back in the water and try again. You take a look all around it. You take a look in the water, out of the water. In the water, you notice something pressed up against the grate right at the bottom, like something tried to get through but couldn't fit. There's just sort of a dark shape down there. And on the walls beside the grate, one on either side, you see a hole in the wall. Like a pretty, maybe about the size of your wrist.
On either side of the grate.
Yes.
And can our arms span the length of the grate, or it's bigger than that?
It's bigger than that, yeah. Not a huge amount bigger, but definitely bigger than just your two arms.
I'd like to reach into one of those holes. One of those hands.
Your
size.
hand is a little bit too wide for it. Like your wrist would work, your fist not so much.
Maybe we could flip the oar around and use the thin end of the oar to put into one of the holes.
That
Yeah,
fits perfectly, and you feel a sort of mechanical click as you push it the whole way in. However, it doesn't do anything to the grate, and you sort of look forlornly at the one over the other side.
Oh,
dang.
maybe need another oar. What's can we reach in and grab whatever's in the water, the object?
A little bit too deep for you, and a little bit
Okay.
too fast for you as well.
Okay. Is it if with the oar, is it accessible?
That is much better. The oar makes a great scooping device.
I'm gonna
So
sound a
you reach
huge
down, you
fan of
grab
this
it.
Oar.
It's going to be your best friend in this room, in the next room. Absolutely. There is a second oar down there that you have just scooped up.
All right. Is there any way we can reach the end of that oar into the second wrist-sized hole?
We've got a second person.
You're
now,
going to
right?
have to
Leilani.
time it really well, but if you get into the boat, you and Leilani together could get them in at the same time from the very middle there.
This feels incredibly challenging because we will then, of course, want to remove the oars from the holes once the grate opens so that we can control the boat moving forward. But this is our
It's
best
going to be
course of
tricky,
action.
but yeah.
If you could just roll a dexterity check.
Yeah.
All right.
What do we? Oh, we got
Natural-
18.
Oh, well, I mean, I was going to say.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's good
All right.
enough.
You shove the boat back into the water with Leilani still in it. It's a little tough, but you manage. You've gone a little bit further up, so you got a bit more water rushing. You got some time. You get your oars in place, and at the exact same time, you shove them into those holes by the grates. They land perfectly. And when they're pushed all the way in, the grate swings open outward with a loud clang. You just manage to pull them back in time before you are pulled all the way through. You are thrown by the roaring water out into bright afternoon sunlight.
Oh,
You are free.
Wow.
cannot tell you how good that feels.
The water quickly slows, its force dissipating into open ocean. All you hear is the gentle splashing of your oars on its surface and maybe a seagull somewhere in the distance. There are boats around and there's harbour, but there are no people. You don't know where this is, but this is not your hometown. Just one quick row and we're out for good, says Leilani. Now that she's in the boat, she seems a lot more relaxed. Even her ankle doesn't look so bad now that she's not putting weight on it. Oh, well done. Sincerely, I wasn't sure if my help was going to be enough to get you this far, but you have shown exceptional bravery and skill. So, ready to sail into the real world?
Escape This Podcast is part of Consume This Media. Head to consumethismedia.com for all of our projects. And make sure to tune in next week for Podcast This Escape, where we'll chat with our guests about this escape room.